Imagine waking up tomorrow morning. You open your eyes, get out of bed, and start your day like normal. Outside, the sun is shining, birds are singing, people are walking their dogs, everything looks completely ordinary. But there is one tiny difference. A difference so small that most people wouldn't notice it right away. Every mosquito on Earth is gone. Not hidden, not sleeping, not migrating somewhere else. Gone. Every single one of them. At first, this sounds like a fantastic news. No more itchy bites, no more annoying buzzing sounds near your ear at 3 in the morning, no more slapping yourself in the face because something invisible just flew past. For many people, this would feel like humanity had finally won a war. And honestly, the first few months would probably be amazing. But nature has a funny habit. The things we hate the most often turn out to be more important than we realize. So, what would actually happen if every mosquito vanished overnight? Let's start with the obvious. Humans would benefit immediately. Mosquitoes are considered the deadliest animals on Earth. Not because they're strong, not because they're aggressive, but because they carry diseases. Malaria alone kills hundreds of thousands of people every year. Then there's a dengue fever, yellow fever, Zika virus, and several other dangerous diseases spread by mosquitoes. Without mosquitoes, many of these diseases would collapse dramatically. Entire regions of the world would become safer almost overnight. Hospitals would treat fewer patients, families would lose fewer loved ones, millions of lives could potentially be saved over time. Economically, the impact would also be enormous. Countries spend billions of dollars every year fighting mosquito borne diseases. That money could be redirected into education, infrastructure, healthcare, or scientific research. For humanity, the disappearance of mosquitoes would look like one giant victory. Case closed, problem solved, roll the credits. Right? Well, not exactly, because mosquitoes are not just flying syringes, they're also food. And in nature, food is a very important job. Fish eat them, frogs eat them, small insects eat them, even some turtles eat them, flies eat them, spiders catch them in their webs. For some animals, mosquitoes are only a small snack. But for others, they are a regular part of the menu. So if mosquitoes disappeared, would all those animals suddenly die? Probably not. And this is where things become interesting. Most predators that eat mosquitoes are not mosquito specialists. A bat does not wake up every morning thinking, today I should consume exactly 47 mosquitoes. It eats whatever insects are available. The same is true for many birds, frogs, and fish. If mosquitoes vanished, these animals would likely switch to other food sources. Nature is surprisingly flexible. Many ecosystems would adapt. Some species might experience temporary problems, but a global ecological collapse is unlikely. In fact, many scientists believe the planet will continue functioning surprisingly well. That sounds strange. How can an animal that exists almost everywhere be removed without destroying nature? The answer lies in numbers. There are over 3,500 known mosquito species, and here's something most people don't know. Only a relatively small percentage of them actually bite humans. Even fewer spread dangerous diseases. In other words, the mosquitoes ruining your summer vacation are only a tiny fraction of the mosquito family. Most mosquito species spend their lives doing things humans never even notice. Some feed primarily on the nectar, some rarely interact with people at all, which leads to another unexpected consequence. Plants. Yes, plants. Many people think mosquitoes only drink blood, but it is not true. In fact, most mosquitoes spend much of their lives feeding on plant nectar. Some species even help pollinate flowers. Now, they are nowhere near as important as bees. If bees disappeared, agriculture would face massive problems. Mosquitoes are not operating on that level, but they still contribute. Certain plants rely on them more than you might expect. Without mosquitoes, some plant populations could decline, not enough to transform Earth into a wasteland, but enough for scientists to notice. And then there's the Arctic. One of the weirdest places in the entire story. When people imagine mosquitoes, they usually think about hot jungles and humid swamps, but some of the largest mosquito population on Earth live in the Arctic regions during summer. There, mosquito larvae become an enormous food source for birds. Millions upon millions of birds arrive to feed and reproduce. In some Arctic ecosystems, mosquitoes are so abundant that they help move huge amounts of energy through the food chain. Remove them, and certain bird populations could suffer. Some migration patterns might change, some species might become less successful. Again, the ecosystem would likely adapt, but adaptation is not the same thing as no consequences. Now, let's ask a different question. If mosquitoes are so dangerous, why did evolution create them in the first place? The answer is simple. Evolution does not care whether humans are annoyed. Evolution only cares whether a species survives long enough to reproduce. And mosquitoes are extremely good at it. They have existed for over 100 million years. That means mosquitoes were around when dinosaurs still walked the earth. Think about it for a second. The animal buzzing around your bedroom survived asteroid impacts, ice ages, and mass extinctions. Yet somehow it still gets defeated by a rolled up newspaper. That's honestly impressive. So, if every mosquito vanished tomorrow, would the world become better? For humans? Almost certainly. Fewer diseases, fewer deaths, fewer itchy bites, better sleep, and significantly less arm slapping. For nature, the answer is more complicated. Some animals would lose a food source, certain plants would lose pollinators, a few ecosystems, especially in the Arctic, would need time to adjust, but Earth would probably survive the loss. Nature is resilient. Life adapts. That is what it has always done. So, despite being one of the most hated creatures on the planet, mosquitoes still play a role in the giant machine we call nature. A small role, an annoying role, a role that most humans will happily delete, but a role nonetheless. And maybe that is the strangest lesson of all. Even the creatures we hate the most are often connected to the world in ways we never notice. So, the next time a mosquito lands on your arm, actually, never mind, go ahead and slap it.